So today's lesson is all about the squat move in the downswing, the sequencing of the downswing and why we should squat and how you should never ever think about squatting on the golf course. Let's get stuck into the technique. So what we're talking about today really is the kind of Sam Snead move in the downswing. Why is it important, how we can train it, and how you should never think about it on the golf course. Let's get stuck into why. So for me, trying to squat on the golf course would be the worst thought you could have for flow and motion and outcome. So we definitely do not want to do that on the golf course. What we want to do is work on some simple keys on the practice ground to give us the feeling and allow it to naturally flow into our technique, so we use the ground better and we can sequence the downswing better. So what happens? Poor golfers will tend to go over the top and the legs will be too straight as they start the downswing. The best golfers in the world, as they squat and separate their knees and gain more flex in both legs as they start the initial phase of the downswing, that allows the club to settle and drop into the slot and shallow correctly, and also then allows us to put some vertical force into the ground so then we can push off the ground. That is what we're after in the ideal world. As I said, if you're on the golf course trying to feel like you squat, there's a good chance you won't push off the ground and you're going to hit the ground before the ball, and that'll end in disaster. What I'd like you to do is to work quite hard on going to the top of your swing, matching your flex of your knees up. So trying to create flex in both legs so they're level with each other in that first initial phase. And in doing that, you're pushing the knees apart. So we're leveling up, and then we would turn and extend the left leg aggressively. Now the trail leg will also extend, but nowhere near at the rate as the lead leg, and it probably in the finish would have some slight flex in it, depending on the golfer's pattern. Again, if it's too straight, the likelihood is you're going to be out there. So we're really looking for top of the swing, match those knees up, level up, push off the ground, and try and hit a strong shot if we can. Now that one wasn't full power. That one there was 75 mile an hour, and I hit it 161 yards with a 6-iron. Normally for me, I'd be about 10 mile an hour more than that. The whole idea in practice is working at level that allows you to make change and get feels. And you have to own your own feels. So the feeling I get from it would be very different to the feeling you may get from it. Some players will say, well, I don't feel I'm doing that. We can add more stuff into them if we need to. We can put a basket between the legs, a ball between the legs, and ask them to drop it. But again, it's not really that way on the course. We really want to just feel, okay, if I was going to jump, I've got to push down to push up. So we just got to feel that, we would develop that kind of practice, level up, turn, and then try and put that into a golf swing as best we can. And we've got to feel we can just naturally get that move on the golf swing. We've got to naturally change our golf swing. It's not about going to the golf course with that immediate thought. Now, we might do is a practice swing and then try and feel that we're going to push off the ground a bit more, and that might help us go into the ground before the push, just because we've got that thought process. But the practice swing is really about telling our brain what we want it to do, and that's important. Now, sequencing-wise, as I said to you, if you were squatting, it's much harder, it's not impossible to come over the top. The idea is in the golf swing, our lower half would work first in the downswing, then our torso, then our arms and our club. So if I'm squatting, I'm definitely initiating the downswing more with my lower half. And hopefully that move there is all about that kind of dropping before we turn, as opposed to if I'm tall, it's much easier to do that. The upper body will be much more dominant. So it's definitely a feel I'd want you to have. Now, as I said, the way to practice it for me would be breaking it down, top of the swing and pause, start the downswing, get the left arm almost to parallel, feel those knees level up, and then hit the golf ball from there. And we feel that we almost push into the ground. There's no lateral movement forward. It's more about grinding ourselves into the ground, letting the body rotate and torque, and then push. Now there's naturally some natural movement, and then we want lateral movement for sure, so don't worry about that. I'm not saying we don't want lateral movement, but we definitely got to feel the squat happening. Give it a go and let me know in the comments box down below how you found it. So if you've enjoyed today's video, please click like and share. Really appreciate if you could do that. Also post comments, questions or requests down below. Really helps the channel, and it really helps me direct the channel content in the direction that you want to see and that you're going to watch more videos. So I thank you very much for joining me today. I'm at Edgbaston Golf Club today in their studio. Massive thanks to them. We're still on lockdown here in the UK, so just getting the opportunity to get out and film a few videos is really useful for me. So many thanks for them. I hope to see you back here very soon, and please make sure you subscribe and click the notification button if you can.